Today's episode, protest protocol.
Being prepared for anything.
Hello.
Hi.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about something kind of off topic, I guess.
Well, not entirely.
Yeah, not entirely, but
It's going to be a half and half episode.
half and half episode. Yeah, we did go to a protest today.
Yes, we did. We went to the No Kings protest
yep.
in Daytona.
Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have some footage of that. I think I got a picture of a turtle. I don't think
Yeah.
no
We
fish,
were looking for fish.
but we were looking for fish, and we just couldn't find any on the sidewalk.
We found a sea turtle.
We found a sea turtle photo. But no, we it is something we believe in, so we did go. But we really didn't. That isn't necessarily what we're trying to talk about.
Well, yeah, in a way we are, and it's because we know that a lot of people are going to these things.
Right.
And we also know like what's been happening in like LA lately and a few other big cities
Right.
when you have ice raids and people are getting mistaken identities and all this other crazy
Right.
stuff. And
Yeah, you need to be prepared for your pets and your fish and your
right. So when
your life.
when we went today, this is our first time going to a protest.
Right.
We had no idea what to expect.
Right.
I mean, in our small town, they didn't have one, but so we went to Daytona, which is a larger area.
Right.
And we had no idea what to expect because we are in a deep red area.
Yes,
I mean,
we are.
We screwed up last election.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's a
with
pretty bad state.
the
but-
Senate election or whatever. So we didn't know what to expect.
Right.
And one thing that we've been seeing a lot on the news is, especially like our governor was talking about, yes, you can run over protesters.
Run over the protesters.
And then we had a
the
sheriff
sheriff
that
down south was saying we're
kill
going to
them.
use deadly force
Yeah.
if they even look at us funny.
Right. So we didn't know what to
right.
expect. It's like, are we going into a war zone? Okay. Our thought was bring cameras, go see, how things were sitting. So while we had an extremely pleasant experience,
Right.
that's not going to be true for everybody. And as things get more and more
Heated.
you never know. And
Right.
so we didn't know if we were going to be like live from the jail.
Right. Just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case.
So we wanted
People were prepared to come save us.
Right, yeah. Basically what we did was we told the family, we were like, look, if you don't hear from us from 5, then it means we've been arrested.
Right.
And as it turns out, right after the protest, I just messaged the family going, no, we're fine, we're going out for sushi.
Which was amazing.
Which was fish.
And which was a fish.
Yes.
So we took pictures of that.
Yes,
I did take
yes,
a picture of
yes.
that.
So-
very exciting.
Yeah, that's been our thing. It's
Woohoo!
like
Fish photos. Woohoo! Our relaxing hobby.
Yeah. But what we did want to talk about is how people should prepare because you never know what's going to happen
Right.
at these things. I mean,
Or anywhere, but yeah, I mean protests.
protests can turn violent really quickly, and people can literally get sucked up into it. They pull the paddy wagons and throw everybody in it. They don't care,
Right.
and you could be detained for days, if not weeks.
And even sometimes in a peaceful protest, sometimes that herd mentality takes over and people do stupid stuff. Even the peaceful protests. So
Right.
we were prepared. We were hoping it wouldn't happen, and it didn't at this particular one. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Right. So we were thinking, okay, let's talk a little bit about how to prepare for getting your house in order, or more specifically your ponds and aquariums in order, in the event that something like that might happen if you go to a protest or something like that. It doesn't even really matter which side you're on. It's going to
Affect either side, yeah.
Yeah, if shit goes down, they don't care. They're just going to throw everybody away.
Right.
So we wanted to talk a little bit about steps that we would take if we didn't already live with a bunch of people who know how to handle our fish.
Right. If you live alone, or if somebody doesn't know how.
Right. So what I'm suggesting is before you put yourself into any type of situation like we did, where you don't know how things are going to go down. Could be really good, could be really bad, could turn into LA. And by LA I mean that small little section of LA that
Went bad, yeah.
that went
The
bad.
majority of them were perfectly fine. But go ahead. We
Yeah.
won't even get there.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I hate saying LA and then LA's so big. And
Right.
It's just like this
yeah.
thimble size
Little tiny issue.
Right. So what I would suggest is if you have family or friends or neighbors or anybody that you're friendly with who is not going to be going, first of all, let them know who you're going.
Yeah, let's say let someone know you're going. Don't just go.
Right.
Don't go alone. I mean, you can go alone, but just make sure that somebody's aware where you're at.
Yeah, let somebody know that you're going. And then set a check-in time. Like our check-in time was 5. We left at a little bit after 9.
Yeah, a little bit after 9.
And our check-in time was 5. If our family didn't hear from us by 5, they knew something was up. Have a
As you
check-in
can tell,
time.
we're all sweaty.
Yeah,
It's hot out.
oh yeah.
90 some degrees. Yeah, welcome to
Daytona.
Florida. Yeah. But anyway, sorry, off topic.
Yeah. But basically, we arranged to make sure that, you know, people knew where we were and what time to expect to hear from us by. If they didn't, they would know something was up, and that would put them into, okay, we get to take care of the animals.
But we also took care of the animals before we left, made sure everything was fed.
Yeah, but
just in case.
Yeah, but at the same token, when you're arrested for anything like that, you could be held for overnight.
Days,
You
yeah.
could be days, it could be weeks.
Yeah.
And if you're like me, with the last name of Rodriguez, I have to prove whether I'm from here. So
Right. I don't have that problem.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And I'm not even Hispanic. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marriage, but to somebody who's not even Hispanic either, adopted.
Adopted. But anyway,
Yeah.
off topic again.
Yeah, but it's still things.
But it is a fear. Yeah, it is a fear that you have to be ready, especially if you have a Hispanic name or a foreign name or what they consider foreign.
Yeah. Shiva Rodriguez.
Yeah,
That doesn't sound.
or you are,
American.
you know, not that we have that, but if you are dark skinned or whatever, people get stupid. But anyway,
Right.
get us off topic again.
So what I'm suggesting for people who don't live with people who know how to handle your fish and whatnot is to write out a list. And I mean a step-by-step list. So like, let's say that you do a 10% water change every week. On that list, it needs to say on like Tuesdays, I do a 10% water change. Here's the equipment, and if possible, show people how to use the equipment.
And not only that, but when Shiva does it, she actually has a little line drawn in her pond where you can actually see how far down to go.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's not
Yeah.
drawn, but it's you
Yeah.
can see it.
I've got
they
a
can-
marker.
Yeah, there's a mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and that's actually a really good idea to mark it when you know if you're going to be out of town or something.
Well,
you
like
think
with my
might happen.
aquariums, I use my ammonia tags. I put them down where
Right.
they're supposed to be. Now, that's not foolproof because fish can move those around. Just ask Roomba.
Right. She didn't like it in her spot, but anyway.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a good thing to make sure that they know and write it down. I
Yeah.
mean, it's safer.
Write it down in a list, type it out, make sure it's something that people can read. What kind of food? Like, we have multiple fish with multiple different dietary needs. So,
Right.
like the first time that I had to write it down for you because
Yeah.
I was going off, I had everything listed. It was like, okay, ropefish get this, angelfish gets this,
Yeah.
koi gets this, you know.
Yeah, because I don't have all the varieties that she had. Mine just all the whoop, you know, and hers were like, you got to do this and this and this. So, you know, and once I learned it, I didn't need it anymore. But the very first time, she had it all written out nicely for me. But and again, same thing. If you're arrested or something happens,
Yeah.
you want to have that plan in place for
Right.
your fish. You really do.
Right, because you never know how long you're going to be detained.
Yeah.
You know, it could be overnight, it could be weeks. So you want to have somebody there who can be able to, and this holds true with any kind of pet. You know, we talked about fish because that's kind of a show, but the same thing holds true. Like
Does this
I did
count
it
as a
with
field
cats.
trip?
It counts.
Hey,
as a
we field
trip.
tripped.
Yeah, we field tripped.
See, whoo, go us.
But you know, it's not just fish. I mean, do this for any type
Yeah,
of
your
animal.
pet,
you
your
have.
yeah.
You know,
I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, yeah,
special
cats,
needs.
dogs, absolutely. I mean, you need to make sure somebody's there to let your dog out, feed your cat, feed your bird, whatever it happens to be. I mean, yeah, we talk about fish because that's the majority of what we do, but you have to make sure that your family and your household is taken care of. I mean, honestly, if I were to go to a protest and I didn't live with somebody, I would literally put my dog in either a kennel or leave her with a neighbor or something if I lived alone.
Somebody you trusted.
Somebody I trusted to just in case. Because I would make sure that my dog was taken care of no matter what. I wouldn't just leave her at the house and go, I'll be home tonight, because we didn't know what was going to happen. Honestly,
Yeah.
we were ready for anything.
Yeah.
We were concerned.
We
So,
didn't know. Now, another thing to consider is that this doesn't necessarily pertain to just arresting. Mob mentality can get bad and people can get trampled. People
Yeah, you can get hurt. You can get hurt
You
because,
could end
like
up
I
in
said,
the
that
hospital.
that mob mentality takes over, that herd mentality, and people don't think sometimes. So it's not even purposeful. It's literally herd mentality where they just follow along and do it, and then people get hurt.
Yeah,
You are
well,
correct.
worse, like let's say for example, you're at a large crowd of people and then all of a sudden the police show up and shit starts going down.
Somebody gets spooked.
A lot of people are going to start running and then it turns into a trampling
Yeah.
situation.
And we had a
Or
lot of older people there, maybe,
Yeah.
so they would have gotten hurt. That was one of Shiva's biggest concerns was
keeping an eye out.
keep an eye on the older people, because if something happens, we need to get them as far, we need to protect them as much as we can. And there were quite a few of them there. It was wonderful to see. Please don't misunderstand me, but we were a little concerned because there were a lot of them, and I'm like, okay, pick one. If something happens, pick one.
Happens, how do we help? you
Yeah,
know?
how do you help? That's what we were
That's
trying
us.
to do. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, you just got to be prepared. Have a plan in place for all your pets.
Right.
But fish too. They count.
Yeah.
Obviously, even though we ate some today,
I know, but it was so good.
it was delicious.
And they were all saltwater, so we were good.
Oh my God, it's so good. But anyway, off topic again.
Yeah.
Taking care of yourself. Let's get back to that.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, so definitely, make out a list, make it as detailed as possible, and if possible, have somebody come over and see you do your routine. know where the equipment is, know what, like, not everybody knows that you can vacuum an aquarium.
Right.
If I talk to people who haven't had fish before and I say, okay, you're gonna have to vacuum this gravel once a month, they're gonna be like, what are you talking about? Pull out the Electrolux? And, you know,
Right,
they
can
don't
you
know any
imagine,
better.
imagine plugging it in,
Or they're
it's
thinking,
electric,
or
what's
they're
gonna happen?
Or they're thinking wetback.
Yeah.
You know, they don't
Yeah.
know what an aquarium vacuum is.
is, yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, I had
these
to
are all
learn that.
things to keep in mind.
Yeah, you just got to kind of be careful. Ours was a pleasant experience, but we just wanted to really quickly kind of go over it with you, just just so you know. I mean, obviously most of us probably know we would use our common sense, but sometimes you don't.
And things can
Things
happen.
happen.
I mean, even though we were very alert to our situation, very familiar with our surroundings and keeping an eye out on things can turn in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw a few people that were anti-protesters who were trying to instigate things.
Right, they were trying.
Now everybody was laughing at them, which I was so glad to see because
Right, they just
weren't
laughed,
letting
yeah.
them get it.
Yeah,
But there were people who were actually out there trying to start things.
right.
And
So we were lucky in that instance, that we didn't, and we were watching. We were
Yes.
very alert. So, and I didn't go to jail today. So just remember, protect your pets. I
Yeah.
mean, common sense, but again, people sometimes you don't think.
Yeah, well, that and everybody's too optimistic, and I hate being, the little naysayer here, but you never know.
Right.
I mean, have a plan in mind. Know that you're expecting to come home, but you might not.
Right.
And this is true for any situation. I mean, you can get in a traffic accident on the way
Right.
home from work, but in these particular situations, yes, I know the fish are
The
protesting.
fish
We
are
turned off
protesting
their-
because they turned off the air on them.
their waterfalls.
Yeah,
But, like, for example, we didn't know what we were going to be walking into, and it could have just as easily been a whole bunch of Trump supporters in those big 4x4 wheels with guns,
Yeah.
trying to rally
trying
up
to
the crowd.
intimidate and cause
And
trouble.
that probably would have done it.
Yeah,
At the very least, it would have caused a panic.
Right.
And it would have been real easy for a lot of people, us
To become
included,
hurt.
to get hurt in
right. Even if you don't get arrested, you could still be hurt.
Yeah.
And, you want to make plans, you want to make sure, you want to be safe.
Right. And-
Safety obviously is first, but sometimes you just have to do what you have to do, and we decided this was what we had to do.
Yeah, now keep in mind that socio-political climate is getting a little bit more heated, and it keeps getting more and more heated. So these things may not become quite as safe as time goes on. And again, we don't know. But it's looking like that's the case. I mean, we're already seeing bigger cities are having problems. We're lucky because even Daytona, our big city, is pretty small, but
Right.
places like Chicago,
LA,
LA,
New York.
Houston, these
Yeah.
places. So, and we know that y'all don't live in our same area.
Right.
It's not me being all southern with y'all.
Y'all,
Yeah,
y'all.
We know y'all don't all live where we do. But
I don't think I've ever heard you use the word y'all before,
I've
but
been using it once in a while.
huh.
It's
She was
probably 'cause
becoming
I
a native.
Just because I hear it so much.
Yeah, because that's where you work.
Yeah. I hear it a lot where I work.
Yeah. Y'all.
Y'all have a good night.
Yeah. But yeah, just be safe. That's really what this was about. It was about and again we support who we support, and you don't have to support that.
Yeah.
And
But at
we're
the same
okay.
token, again, it doesn't matter which side you're on
It
because
doesn't matter which side. I mean,
anybody can get hurt.
of course,
at these
we don't
things.
like the other side, but that's I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't. She doesn't either.
I don't
Anyway,
either. But the
but-
point is it
yeah.
doesn't matter which side you're on.
Either side, bad stuff can happen.
have
Yeah.
some bad stuff happen
Yeah.
because there are troublemakers on both sides.
Correct.
I will be the first to tell you that.
Yes, there are.
You could just as much have a Trump rally going on and a few
Crazy,
people who are
yeah.
people
Crazy.
who are just fed up with Trump going in and starting Trump looking.
Right, and it
You
happens.
can have
I've
it,
seen
and-
it happen.
yeah, so have I.
Both sides. Nobody's perfect. And
Right.
again, herd mentality.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
You get enough people. That's why that was my biggest concern, was if there were enough people anti-protesting, or whatever you want to say, protesting against the protest,
Yeah.
it could have gotten ugly fast because there were a lot of people. Okay, and again, herd mentality kicks in, and people do dumb things.
Oh yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. Dumb things.
I mean, when you think about how a lot of riots started,
Yeah.
a lot of them is
One
just
little
a couple
thing.
people just going off, and next thing you know, everybody's going off.
Yeah, because they see the herd going, and then it's pack animals just like dogs. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but it's the mentality.
No, we're all a bunch of dogs when it comes
Yeah.
to that. So
It's so just be safe, be prepared,
yeah.
make plans just in case. I mean, I'd rather you didn't ever need them,
Mhm.
but you had them, than you didn't make them and you needed them.
Yeah.
Okay, honestly, because the pets don't deserve, anything happening to them because you didn't take care of them or you didn't plan something.
Plan for somebody to take care of them.
And that's just our opinion. I mean, obviously you can disagree.
Yeah.
throw some comments below. We'd love to hear
By
them.
all means, let your fish die while you're,
Yeah, or in jail, whatever.
Or the
I'm
hospital,
just saying. You know, if you disagree, by all means, comment below. We would love to hear that.
Yes,
we'll have
we
some
will.
fun with that one.
Yes, we will.
But again, you don't have to agree with us on anything. Really, we don't care. I hate to say it like that. We love y'all, most of you, but we don't care. Our opinions are ours. Again, this show is just our opinions.
Yes.
It's our lives, our lifestyle.
Yeah. But at the same token, it is something that anybody, and it doesn't matter
Your beliefs.
What your belief system is the fact that this can happen.
Yeah, it
If
can
you
happen
go
on
to
any.
these-
It can happen to anything. It can happen anytime with something like this.
I mean, it is a good idea to have that anyway. Just
Well, I
in
say
case
it's
you
a
get
good
into
idea.
it.
Yeah, anything. I mean, a car accident, something unexpected happens. So it's
But we're just thinking along the lines of something that can happen to a whole group of people really fast, and
Right.
that's
So what if
these
you
are
what if you
going
went to one of these with your whole family?
Mhm.
You need to have a plan in place for somebody outside of your family to help you,
Right.
whether it be your fish, whether it be your other pets.
Or even hiring somebody to be your
Yeah. Just have something in place just in case. And that's all we're really saying. That's really what this was about, per se. That the little blurb here at the end. But again, like, subscribe, share, comment below. We would love to hear your comments on this one. Just wait till they see some of this video.
Oh my goodness.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, we had to
Fun-
stop Sandy.
Only once. Only once. There was one gentleman that had a megaphone, and it is his belief. He can say what he wants, but calling people names like
Yeah, call Sandy a coward.
call Sandy a coward or a communist. After Sandy's fought in a war and Sandy's given 7 years or 8 years of her life to the Marine Corps. It offended me. It offended me quickly. So of course I did want to, on the way out, not on the way there, but on the way out, I wanted to swing by his work
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, I said,
address
"Nope."
that, let him say it to my
Nope.
face instead of
Nope.
from far away, because he had a megaphone a block away. But of course he went inside, and I was like, I'm not going to go into his establishment and cause trouble, because he was the owner, from what I understand.
Well, I wasn't going to let you cause trouble anyway, because it defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah, I know, but I wasn't going to cause trouble. I was offended, and I wanted him to address it directly to me, to call me a coward to my face.
Instead of calling it you across the street or a megaphone.
Yeah, because to me, that's, if you're going to do it to my face, and then explain your position. Just because I disagree with your beliefs does not make me a coward or a communist or whatever other names he called, a whole bunch of other names.
Oh, there was a couple C words. In there,
Yeah, a lot of C words I'm not going to use on the thing. Not even on
communist and coward were only two of the C words used.
But I wasn't going to, I wanted to address it. Why do you believe that? What is your, you don't have to agree with me, and I don't have to agree with you. But don't attack like that. There was no reason for that. He could have peacefully protested our protest, and I wouldn't have had a problem with that.
Yeah.
He could have said, I disagree, I think the guy's great, I think you guys are all wrong. That kind of stuff is fine, but calling people disgusting names set me off. That I don't like.
With a megaphone on, though.
With a megaphone. But again, personal thing, Shiva kept me in track, didn't let me go.
Yeah, I was
Have
ready.
a drink.
I was ready to tackle her. If she would have started, it would have been like, no, we're not doing
It's
that.
like, we're done. But anyway, like, subscribe, share, comment below. Yes, I do have a temper, and it does take a lot to set it off, but something like that set me off quick. I'm already not pleased with that whole side of the fight because of some of the stuff they say, but we won't go there. That's not about this show.
Yeah.
Protect your pets, really, honestly. Protect your fish, protect your other pets, even protect your family, your children.
Yeah,
if you're
just have a system in place. Like we said before, we had a system where if they didn't hear from us by a certain time, they knew that something was up.
Yeah.
Something like that is always a good thing to do. Make sure people know where you are and what time they need to hear from you by.
And we've already got some plans to do some more field trips.
Mm-hmm.
At least one that we already know of in the next couple of weeks. We're going to go do another field trip, and then we have another couple.
And it actually has something to do with fish and stuff.
Yeah. And I do want to go snorkeling again now that the weather's nice. Well, right now it's not, but
yeah, right now it's rainy season.
Right now it's raining and thunder.
Yeah, lightning.
And stuff, but,
yeah, let's go snorkeling in a lightning
but
storm.
I do want to go to some of the springs. I do want to go. There's they've reopened up Blue Springs for snorkeling again, so I do want to go there. But anyway, we are going to do some more field trips, and they will entail some type of fish stuff.
Yeah, this time it'll be fish other than just sushi, but...
Well, yeah. Really amazing sushi, though.
Yeah.
But anyway, have a wonderful day. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. We would love to hear them.
Right.
If you have any suggestions, or if you happen to have gone to a protest and something weird happened, we'd love to hear about it. you know, we're open to any of that. Even if you went to the other side's protest, we're okay with that protest.
Yeah.
I guess their support.
Another counter protest.
Or you know, if they go to whatever they go to, whatever they want to call
Rallies.
it. Rallies. Okay, if you want to go to if you go to a rally, that's fine. Tell us about it.
Yeah.
And we can laugh at you. No, sorry. Anyway.
I think what she's trying to say is just no matter what side you're on, just
be
in mind,
careful.
keep in mind that you are responsible for a lot more than just yourself, and that is any animals that you take, they're your responsibility, period, at the end. So make plans for them, because even though you can be completely confident that nothing's going to happen, shit can
Life
happen.
happens. Life happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have a great day. We do appreciate you, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Bye.
I know, Sandy, you look so into it. You shake it.
Pull somebody over.